Welcome to Kentucky Music. I'm your host, Jesse Wells. This program will feature musicians and musical traditions from around Kentucky. Our guests today are fiddler Nikos Pappas and multi-instrumentalist Seth Folsom. Today's program is a little unique. Both of our musicians did not grow up in the Commonwealth. Nikos Pappas is originally from Ohio and Seth Folsom is from New York. But like so many people from around the world, they have fallen in love with the people and the music of Kentucky. Fiddler Nikos Pappas from Lexington, Kentucky has become one of the most respected old-time fiddlers. He is a walking encyclopedia of fiddle tunes and their history. Nikos is a champion fiddler, having taken home multiple awards from contests, including the Appalachian String Band Festival and Moorhead Old Time Music Festival, as well as the Ed Haley Fiddle Contest, honoring the legendary fiddler each fall in Ashland, Kentucky. He is a member of the great Kentucky string band, the Red State Ramblers. Playing with Nikos today is musician Seth Folsom. Seth makes his home in Louisville, Kentucky, where he is an in-demand musician and luthier. He is a world-class banjo builder, having built instruments and parts for some of the world's greatest makers and players. He is also a master performer on the instrument, being able to provide solid backup to a fiddle tune in the old-time frailing style, as well as play wonderful finger style like that of Charlie Poole. Seth can be heard with some of the finest old-time bands, from Louisville's The Jawbones to California's The Crooked Jades. It is a pleasure today to bring you the music of Nikos Pappas and Seth Folsom.
Okay, well, why don't we start out with Ladies on the Steamboat.
Sounds good.
Well, let's go on and do Buffalo Gals. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Now I'm going to play a tune that comes from Darley Foulkes of Wolfe County. And Darley certainly had a unique way of looking at tunes and of looking at bowing. So this is a tune that's called Fontaine's Ferry, and it comes from the playing of Darley Foulkes. Okay, well, the next tune I'm going to play is Something Sweet to Tell, and it was played by Jimmy Wheeler on his radio program that he had back in the 50s, and this was the song that started out the entire program. And so I learned this one off of one of the friends of Jimmy Wheeler, who started out playing guitar for him.
We have a chance to sit down with our music guests today, Nikos Pappas and Seth Folsom. Glad y'all are here.
Good to be here
on the program. Let's just start with a little introduction to folks on how and why you got involved with old-time music, and specifically Kentucky music. Nikos?
Well, I moved here to Lexington in 2003, and I had been living in Athens, Ohio. Kentucky isn't so far away from Athens at the time, and I met a lot of the people at places like the Fraley Festival, and I gotten interested in Kentucky music there. And then by going to University of Kentucky, I was able to really, branch out and learn a lot about traditional Kentucky music.
Great. Seth?
Well, I moved down here from Western New York about 7 years ago, and I've got family down here. And I was already playing old-time music, and really through playing with people like Adam Tanner and Nikos here, that's how I got into Kentucky music and backing up these fiddle tunes and learning all the different kinds and negotiating my way through the crookedness of a lot of them.
Where do each of you see traditional music headed in the not-too-distant future? There's kind of a revival of this style of music among young people all across the world, and what are some of your thoughts about the future of old time and just traditional music in general?
We have so much access to all this music that we didn't have access to before, that things are going to seem to be a little bit less regional because you have access to North Carolina, Mississippi at the drop of a button. So I think we're going to see a lot more homogeneity that goes on with the music as a result of this access and this blending and this mixing of everything that's going on.
How do you each feel about that? I know some folks feel like that's not the same as it's been in the past.
That's that mentality of playing, tunes from all kinds of different regions and not having any problem with it seems to be the idea of everywhere but the South. To me, that's what I've noticed going around the country. It's like New England and the Mid-Atlantic states and out west and in the Midwest too. Well, the Midwest, I like to play Midwestern tunes, it seems like, but a lot of places they will play, have no problem with playing whatever tunes, Where in the South, they're very proud of their tunes that come from each state, like here in Kentucky, everybody likes to play Kentucky tunes.
North Carolina and Tennessee, Georgia.
And there's a divide by the mountains. You have the people that play tunes from the east side of the mountains and people play tunes from the west side of the mountains. And like playing Kentucky tunes primarily, when you go over to North Carolina, it's hard to find common tunes because that's just how, there's a favoritism towards a certain region. Yeah. So being in Kentucky, you're not quite the Midwest, you're not quite the South, and it's so much diversity in and of itself that, you can have these really distinct kind of tune repertories and various things like that.
And thanks for chatting with us today, fellas.
Good to be
here.
It's
been
Thank you.
Great having you on the program, and let's hear another tune from these fellas.
Well, I think we're going to change things up here a little bit, and why don't we do a blues tune? How about the Hometown Blues?
Sounds good.
And this one comes from Rowan County, not Rowan County, but Rowan County, Tennessee. Well, let's do that. Ellen and Rag comes from Walker's Corbin Ramblers. And they were from Corbin, probably grew up right on the L&N, and it has one of my favorite lines from any of the old 78s, which is, Corbin is a good place to get away from.
Can't go to Corbin anymore.
Nope. Okay, well, let's play a tune now from Blind Ed Haley. And this is a tune that he supposedly wrote called Dunbar.
I'm going to have to sit up for this one.
Uh-oh. Be forthright. Okay, well, now let's go and play a tune from Doc Roberts, who was from Central Kentucky, lived in the Richmond area, and this is a tune that he played called Shortening Bread.
We'd like to thank Nikos Pappas and Seth Folsom for being here with us today. I'm Jesse Wells. Be sure to tune in next time for Kentucky Music.
Support for Kentucky Music is provided by Morehead State University's Office of Research and Sponsored Programs, an office designed to provide leadership, information, and technical assistance to MSU faculty, staff, and students in their pursuit of excellence in research, scholarly, and creative activities. And the Kentucky Arts Council, the state arts agency, supports Kentucky Music with state tax dollars and federal funding from the National Endowment for the Arts. And Morehead State University Center for Regional Engagement. The center promotes economic development, livable communities, social inclusion, creative governance, and civic participation. The center also coordinates MSU's regional engagement partnerships, which enhance the quality of life in East Kentucky. And the Brereton and Elizabeth Jones Charitable Family Foundation. To order a DVD of Kentucky Music, program number 109, call 1-606-207-2169 or write to the address on your screen.